Welcome to the Cost of Goods Told podcast. My name is Connor. I'm a chef and media producer. I am joined, as always, by my co-producer, Darren Lafferty. Darren, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. This week, our guest is Chef Arash of Buffalo Bayou Brewing. There he goes. If you're watching the video version of this, he just took a nice swig of beer. Wish I had one right now. I'm going to have to go pick some up later on today, because that looked absolutely delicious. Arash, what are you drinking right there, man?
I'm drinking our famous Crush City.
I thought it was the Crush City. I was like, darn it. That's an IPA I can actually drink. So
yeah, it's really good.
Arash, we've done actually two podcasts with you. We've done one where you joined us with Chef Ara from Harlem Road, Texas Barbecue. And then we did one more recently kind of talking about your journey to Buffalo Bayou Brewery. You've kind of gotten your feet wet there. You've kind of had some things, and then all of a sudden COVID hit, and now you've had to make some serious adjustments. I know people have seen the tents out and, some of the other curbside things that you're doing, but can you just kind of talk us through what happened initially and how you and the team have addressed the situations?
So it all, happened so quickly that overnight we had to make a decision on how are we going to operate, what's the safest way to operate. And, we became a professional to-go restaurant overnight with a lot of hard work from a lot of people on all the teams. We all came together to make it happen and make it happen flawlessly. And, we're doing pretty good. We had to put a lot of safety implications in place to make sure that this is the safest, cleanest environment where people feel comfortable and they want to keep coming back to us. Mm-hmm. But before we were even allowed to let people in, we did the beer and food to go, and it went pretty dang good, and it kept, we had to lose a lot of our front of the house and some of our kitchen staff on that, which was, the biggest like crush to us, because we don't want to do that to our staff that we love a lot. And, unfortunately we had to do that. But, 90% of them came back, they understand, and they're here now working very, very hard. So, we're following all the guidelines put in place by the governor. We went above and beyond that and put more safety measures in place so that we can do business with local hospitals, the police department, fire department, because they wouldn't even accept food from some places that they don't trust. So they came in, did a walkthrough. They're like, okay, like we can't tell y'all anything. Y'all are doing great. Even health department, we got involved with the health department, checking with them if they have any updates on new rules or anything that would just help us out. And they're like, you guys are doing great. Fire marshal came by, said the same thing. So, thank God we got a lot of smart people working for us that really did it really good.
Well, it didn't look like the beer sales, at least, were slowing down any. You had that video of the new silo coming in, if that's what, know, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah,
the new tank.
It's, liquor, beer, wine, all the way across Texas has gone up. No matter what people are making, it's selling. Some of the lower rent wine that people are selling, you can barely keep that in stores because I think people are really losing their minds at home and they want that comfort and bring the brewery home. And whatever we put in retail is gone. And the brew team has been working nonstop to make sure that we get all the orders out. Even some of our kitchen staff, we brought them back in to help on the canning line, the box beer, make 12 packs, which is new to us, and they love it,
Did you have the guys, so usually when you have a big bump in sales or your production continues in the right direction, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have any breaks in supply chain and raw ingredients? Did y'all struggle with that, or do your suppliers okay through all that?
No, that was part of the hardest job that I had, was to secure product, make sure that we had a supply on hand, that we weren't worried that we were going to run out of paper goods or meat or whatever it was. Stuff that we needed to keep our staff safe, like cleaning supplies, the masks, the whole 9 yards. And it's still an issue because some people just haven't bounced back,
Yeah.
and they won't bounce back. And I feel very bad for them. And I told them, I hate to say it, but I was like, I can't use your company if you can't support me in any way.
Yeah.
And it sucks. I can't order the products that I need if they don't got them because they don't want to purchase them because they just don't have the staff to pull it or whatever in their warehouse. So
They're not really a supplier if they can't supply you with the goods you need.
exactly.
Right?
So that's been a big problem with us.
You're just a supplier, so you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
On the chef side, Arash, not only dealing with the supplies that you can get to yourself, but then also now that you're a to-go restaurant, some menu items just don't travel well. How much did you have to adjust? I mean, like your pizzas should do pretty darn good, and they were already kind of a staple at Buff Brew. But other things, whether it's the barbecue side of things or, maybe even the tacos, like how much of an adjustment did you have to make to the menu for the to-go side?
Well, because now that we got, in the beginning, it was full menu. Well, not full menu, I'm lying. It was probably pared down to like 50% of the menu. Like we took off the wings because fried items really don't travel well. We had to suggest, like automatically, typically you'd get fries with a burger, but we got to like, hey guys, would you like a salad or chips or something else that might travel a little bit better than French fries?
That's smart.
Even the pizzas, everyone is like being very creative with like pizza kits and these kind of like do it at home kits. And I was so against it because I don't want someone to pay a lot of money for the ingredients to go home and then not get the same outcome as they would when they come to the restaurant. I don't want to make someone pay $15 for a pizza kit and they get home and their oven only goes up to 350 degrees when our ovens go up to 650. And it's just a totally different experience. So yeah, a lot of the stuff we had to tweak and I just had to say no. And, because we want to keep the integrity of our products.
Yeah, that's smart to preserve the customer experience, right? Through whatever they're going to take home as well. Did you see a big lift in growler sales or takeout beer or, whatever during that time frame? And has that been the majority of your food and beverage is beverage primarily?
Well, originally it was right when COVID hit, and we did a lot of beer to go and very little food. And then once we were able to allow guests in, the dynamic flipped. So now we're doing a lot more beer to go and then more food on premise, which is great. Like actually food is outdoing beer right now, which is a shock. Before it was the opposite. And it's cool. Like, yes, that's the law. And we're actually like following it because it's just like it happening naturally, which is awesome. So we really don't have to like slow down sales on beer or anything like that to stay in the legal realm of being 51%.
When the governor loosened up the restrictions and allowed you guys to be at 25%, how was that turnout that night? And was it primarily patio or inside or?
So it was good. I mean, it happened very quick and, we had to find staff to like bring them in, train them, get it ramped up. Again, we did it very slowly. We didn't even do the full 25%, but we spaced out all the tables 6 feet apart. So even now that it's 50%, it doesn't matter to us because the tables are still 6 feet apart and that's all we can do.
Right.
So
for those who don't know, Buff Brew has 3 levels. They've got kind of the production area. There's a bar downstairs, and then there's the dog patio area. Then there's the full service restaurant, and then there's kind of the patio top floor, that also has space. Each area, when you're thinking about 25% capacity, each area kind of counts as a separate 25% capacity, or is it 25% capacity of the entire building?
The entire building.
Okay.
So that was total with staff, 151 people.
Okay.
And then the new thing that they added, now we don't have to count the employees. So it's still, even what we're doing now, it's still 151 people max, just based on the amount of tables we can put 6 feet apart.
Right.
So even with the outdoor tents, that's totally different because it's outdoors. So we could fit about 160 outside safely, still 6 feet apart. And that was a big game changer for us. And it helped out a lot. So
how has the logistics of that been? I mean, you're trying to take food from a second floor down and then outside, you know, I mean.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it's a pain in the ass. Because again, we went from only food service being available on second floor, and then we'll do the pop-ups on either third or first.
Mm-hmm.
And those pop-ups were great, and they kind of like filled the gaps where we needed it. But now being full service on all 3 floors, people are actually running plates, like hand delivered to the guests. We're not putting it in to-go boxes. Again, we want to preserve the guest experience. We want to make sure that, you know, they're getting their full service. That's, again, we became professionals in this very, very quickly.
Right.
It's really cool. Like, I was totally against it, and it's working. Yeah, we need a couple more staff members to like run the food to all these levels. These guys have been working super hard. A lot of them lost a few pant sizes on the amount of running they got to do from second floor to the parking lot. But you know, that's the business, and that's what we got to do to make that quarter, to make a penny. You know, like that's what we got to do. And you know, the staff they're cool about it for the most part. You know,
Yeah.
but you know, it's getting hot, so yeah, we're learning and adapting every single day on all this stuff.
Now, tell me about the movie. There's a drive-in movie theater, essentially,
Oh yeah.
right next to you guys. Did you guys have a part in setting that up, or how did that come about?
So they reached out to us, and then we had to like go to the landlord and be like, "Hey, man, they want to like do something in your field," and they were all about it.
Yeah.
That launched maybe 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and it's been great.
Some food there too, because I know how creative you are. You probably said, let's do some sort of popcorn, let's do hot dogs, or you just
So we were only allowed to do pretty much any kind of food item. We weren't allowed to do candy, popcorn, any kind of sweets, because that was their deal. That was their concession stand.
Okay.
Okay.
They sell soda, and then so, you know, again, our protocol is like, okay, if we're doing to go, it has to be 100% contactless. They go online, order online, pay. We stopped taking cash totally, and the entire restaurant and the whole building. So yeah, they go online, order, kitchen gets the order, we bag it up, drop it off at a table, they get a notification on their phone, come pick it up. And those rings are pretty good. I mean, on average, each vehicle orders maybe $35 worth of food or beer or wine or champagne or whatever it is. So it's been pretty damn good.
They can order from your full menu online. Doesn't matter what it is.
Not full menu, no.
But whatever menu.
A good chunk of it. Like 80% of the menu they can get.
And what nights are those, Arash?
What was that?
What nights are they doing those?
Every single day, depending on the weather. So like today it got canceled because the field is wet.
Right.
But for the most part, yeah, it's every single day.
That's awesome, because I've been to, what are they? I mean, like the Alamo Draft Houses were doing it, and then there's the one in City Center, and I mean the food's just not worth it. But to get Arash food and watch a movie and Buff Brew beer, that sounds like a heck of an experience. You know, even if it is outdoor seating, I think that's still a lot of fun and really cool.
Yeah, and we did themed kind of menu items for whatever movies that they're playing, like Silence of the Lambs. We did lamb chops, and you know, we got some kid food that's just fun, good stuff. Nothing. We're not doing anything janky or anything like that. It's like really badass food, and it travels very well to go.
So, not to talk on the COVID aspects, where I think people are hit or miss on masks, no masks, things like that. What I'd like to get is your kind of perception of how customers are perceiving the dining experience, or perceiving how Buff Brew is taking preventative measures or doing the things that you're doing. Not necessarily like, oh, we decide this or we decide that. It's just our customers pulling in, saying something like, oh, you know, I'm not comfortable even sitting outside, and turning around. Or are you having good reception to different things? What's working and what's not, kind of, is what I'm asking.
So the way we operate, it's, you know, it's part of our guidelines, kind of part of our motto, you know, full transparency. So whatever we have in place, we have those rules posted on all the walls. It's open for anyone to see exactly what we do when we do it. because we want the guests to feel safe. My parents, they've been here 2 times, and so have my brothers. And, my brother is very cautious. My parents, they came in the dining room, felt comfortable, they had lunch, no big deal. But my brother was very cautious, and, so we sat outside in the patio, and that's what he wanted to do, under the tents, and he didn't want to come inside, and he was very cautious. And, we got to respect that.
Yeah.
We have, we kind of broke down our consumers based on different profiles. So the very skeptic people, that they might come in, get their feet wet a little bit, scope it out. Then the people that, they don't care, they don't believe in this stuff. So we kind of broke it down to make sure like we hit every single target base and make sure everyone feels comfortable. That's why we opened up all 3 levels full service, to make sure that they can still get whatever they want, wherever they want it. And even the to-go stuff, we hit that pretty hard. If they don't want to be here, they can come and get contactless, pick up beers and stuff like that. So, for the most part, there's days where, I'm not going to lie, I take off my uniform, I wear a normal shirt, I watch the people, I see how they interact, what are they doing. A lot of families come here, some feel like they got to sanitize the table themselves. That's fine. That's great. We're not going to tell them no.
They're not getting a paycheck.
Yeah. But, I'm looking around right now. Everyone's laughing, smiling, enjoying beers. There's people that walk up and they're like, well, how the hell am I supposed to drink beer and eat food wearing a mask? I'm like, ma'am, sir, you don't have to. We recommend that you do when you're not eating and drinking. That's just for your own protection, our staff's protection. But our staff, 100% all the time, they have to wear a mask. Kitchen, front of the house, hostess, dishwashers, the canning line, these guys all have to wear masks until all this stuff is done and we can just go back to normal. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. The customers are pretty understanding. We haven't got any, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong. So yeah, just watching, I'm watching the staff right now, and it's like clockwork. They go around, clean door handles, clean the elevator, clean everything. It's cool to see, but it's not very obvious. Like if you're just like enjoying yourself, you're not going to notice people doing this, because we don't want to interrupt the
It's not disruptive to the
service.
Yeah, it's not disruptive to the dining experience, and that's huge.
Well, you guys must be doing something right, because right after Abbott released kind of loosened up, right? I mean, it was one day later, maybe the same night, they're all over. Customers who went out were all over social media talking about what restaurants weren't doing or what they weren't doing right. Not so much what they were doing well, but it's always the Monday morning quarterbacks that go out.
Yeah.
And, decide that you've done everything wrong and they're not safe and they're never going back out. And so you must be doing something right. If people are comfortable, you've got return customers. Sounds like you're giving us a peek.
I don't want to toot my own horn here, but
toot.
Yeah. But we were like doing, again, a lot of the stuff that most people weren't doing. We kind of like took it to the next level and just made sure that our staff is doing 100% the right thing. So I'm just going to like pan over to the patio really quick. I don't know if y'all be able to see it.
Awesome.
But all the tables 6 feet apart. There's been days, and probably tonight we'll be on a wait, just because so many people want to come up here and enjoy themselves, but we're at a limit. We can only allow so many people in at whatever. So on the weekends we'll be on a 2-hour wait, so someone can be up on the 3rd floor.
Now, not to get it too much, because I know you're a privately held company, and not to get too much into the financials, but at a 25% capacity, at a 50% capacity, and we just saw a pan of the dining room, right? Is it a break even? By the time you've paid your staff, by the time you've paid your overhead, by the time you've made beer, made food, are you breaking even yet?
We're making money.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. Like I said earlier, food sales is on the up and up. Pre-COVID, a good week for me in the kitchen, so I have a good food cost, would be, my goal was minimum 40K
Okay.
a week in food. Right now we're at 36K in food.
All right. So you'll
from
be
last
there.
week.
By Sunday, you'll be there.
Yeah. So we're good. Yeah.
Good. That's good. Well, look, you know, we talked to a lot of restaurants, and
Yeah.
when 25% came out, other restaurants who don't have the same beer options, right? They don't have that much profitability. We're all saying it's not even worth it to open the dining room. We'll just keep doing curbside pickup, right? But when you bring
Yeah.
staff back on, and when you open up the overhead, and you can only get 10 people in, right, 6 feet apart, you really have to weigh out your finances as to what is worth it. So the fact that you guys have so much profitability in the beer, right, typically over food,
Yeah. We got the retail side.
yeah, is really good. I mean,
Mhm.
we need businesses to stay afloat, and so we're glad that you guys are doing that.
Yeah. These, and like, again, like, we got a lot of smart people in the offices that handle all the finances and whatever loans that they got and this and that. Like, they were hungry and they were like, shit, we got to get it now before we miss it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't know exactly which loan they got or how much or whatever, but, you know, just on the retail beer and the little to-go stuff that we did, kept us going. We didn't miss any payroll. We didn't not pay a vendor or anything like that. And it's been all right.
Well, y'all hopped on that tent and that outdoor seating super quick. I thought that was impressive. As soon as,
And yeah, that was a blessing in disguise. You know, we reached out to some of the bigger tent companies, and they were just running their normal business like normal, and they were like, okay, yeah, we want $30,000 a month rent on this stupid tent. And then, you know, we had to counteract and be like, what are you going to do with this tent with no concerts, no festivals, no this, no that? What are you going to do? Just let it sit in the warehouse? So a friend of a friend was like, hey, I got a tent company. Like, what's up? Let's do business. I'm like, all right, man, deal. And we got these tents for a bargain for, I think the lease was like a 2 or 3 month lease on them. And it was a no brainer. And,
Yeah.
you know, it was like, yeah, okay, we got to spend a little bit of money, but again, we're going to make customers feel comfortable. We're abiding by the laws and creating a new space for people to actually hang out.
Mhm.
We can make that extra $2, $3 per person, you know, even if they just want to sit outside.
Is there any adjustments that you made to survive the pandemic that you weren't doing before that you're going to keep after this pandemic?
The to-go service.
To-go service.
Yeah. Originally, you know, we were totally against it. The full service thing on all the floors, I was totally against it, but it's working for now. I don't know if it will be working when it's 100%, but we'll keep the to-go model, and then maybe we can deliver to-go food on third or first floor. And just kind of purchasing things that we had to learn, and, you know, kind of vendor relationships and stuff like that. That was a big thing.
Sometimes it kind of exposes weaknesses and strengths, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not only in your own company, but in your supplier community as well.
Yeah, and a lot of those guys, they try to strike fear in us to overpurchase or say there's going to be a shortage of this, shortage of that, and then kind of inflate the prices a little bit. And some of those guys were exposed, and they're no longer selling to us anymore.
So some true colors coming through.
Yeah.
Like you said, you got a lot of smart people in the office looking at those things, right? And,
yeah.
And you as well, right? This isn't your first go around at difficult times. And
yeah. I check every single invoice that comes in. Anytime a new vendor gets brought on, I rake them through the coals and make sure that they're giving us the best price. Where, okay, I know most of these guys are on commission, but I'm fighting too to make sure that we get the best price on all these stuff. And one new vendor tried to sneak attack something in there, and I was like, one, that's not the brand that I ordered, because I'm a big 44 Farms guy. You try to send me a frozen product that is not even close to this. This is a commodity beef product, and it's frozen. Send it back. And the driver and then the rep, they were so embarrassed, because I literally threw it at him. I was like, get this out of my kitchen. I do not want to see this. And then I had to apologize to the driver. I was like, I know this is not your fault. This is the rep's fault. And then I had to go talk to my sous chef. I was like, look, man, do not allow this to happen ever again in this kitchen, because then this vendor is going to know that, okay, I snuck this one by you. I'm going to sneak a lot more by you.
Mhm.
And that was the first order. And the guy was so embarrassed. He wanted to like come and apologize. I don't got time for this, man. Fix it.
Well, it's tough because you've got all the new regulations. You're trying to abide by those. And then, just regular operations on top of it are kind of back to the same, whether that's someone bringing in fish and, hoping that this time you're not going to weigh it out, or the next time you're not going to weigh it out because you're too busy, or you've got enough of a headache going on. It's kind of tough to deal with that. So Arash, if people are looking for information on how to get Buff Brew food and the different events, what's the best way for them to kind of get all that?
The most information thorough way is go online, go to our website, buffbrew.com. It has our online menu where you can order beer, food. Oh, we make our own hand sanitizer now. So if they want to buy Buff Brew hand sanitizer, they can do that.
Very cool.
If they want to come in and enjoy brunch, now we do brunch Saturday and Sundays. We're just trying to really get people back to some normalcy in their life.
Mhm.
We're kind of like really, really watching and being very safe on what we do. But again, everything's full transparency here. Even if, they just want to come by and talk to someone, just come on by, and we're more than willing to show them what we're doing.
And that's BuffaloBayouBrew.com?
Just buffbrew.com.
Buffbrew.com. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's out there. And are you using third-party delivery services, or you're not?
Not anymore. We were, and they just didn't do nothing for us at all.
Good. Well, everybody has their opinion. I err on the side of not needing them. If you have either employees or people come and pick up, because I'm a big pickup guy.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not dining in, but I'm still having a hard time deciding whether they need it or not.
Yeah. I mean, we tried every goofy app you can think of. We tried it. It wasn't even worth our time. Yeah. I think we got like a good loyal fan base that they want to come, say hi, support us any way they can. And it's not through Uber Eats or whatever,
Well, when folks come out, you still have your bike track set up out front? Can give us a race?
Oh, yeah. I'm down to do some races. I'll race somebody for a beer.
For beer. I remember the call out on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh my God. We get so many bikers that we're going to have to invest in more bike racks over here. This whole COVID thing, everyone's an outdoorsman now, and it's cool to see, but kind of scary at the same time.
Bike stores are sold out. As a matter of fact, I was in a bike barn today, and they probably had 20% inventory.
Wow.
We just can't get bikes in fast enough, and everyone's staying at home. They're stir crazy. Everyone wants a bike.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard the same thing from several people saying that they're trying to buy their kids bikes, but they can't find any. They just sold out.
No.
So,
well, Arash, it sounds like y'all have made all the right steps in the right directions. It seems like a lot of the owners that we've talked to, both on this podcast and off mic, are taking the right steps and finding ways to be successful and at least maintain. I appreciate you taking so much time to talk with us and give us a real good insight and give the customers a good insight into what they can expect at Buff Brew. So Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me on here.
Cowboy.
Well, it's always good to have you on, man. A reoccurring guest, and eventually we're going to have to get him a starring role on the Cost of Goods Told podcast. Arash.
He'll be out of a job if that happens. Come on, leave him out of this.
One of us is going, Darren. They're going to vote one of us off the island, man. One of us isn't getting a rose, man.
I'll fall on the sword. I got you. Hey, Arash, have a good evening, man. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you, guys. You too.
All right. Thanks to all our listeners. Like and subscribe. Later.